So I do a lot of customizing in the Clip Studio Paint interface, mainly because I like the user interface to fit me. I don't want to adapt to a particular layout. I want the layout to adapt to me, and this program is very good at that. So as you can see when you first start it up, we've got these drawers of tools that we can hide, and we've got this command bar at the top, and then this funny little icon here, which for starters, I guess I want to start in preferences. So we go to File, Preferences, or if you're on a Mac, it's the Clip Studio Paint menu and then Preferences. I'm using the tablet PC drivers here. This may not apply for the Mac because you're using third-party drivers regardless. So I prefer this, and I'll tell you why in a minute. Well, actually, I'll tell you now. I have trouble with Wacom's drivers. I'm using a Cintiq 22 HD here, and these drivers for me just give me nothing but grief. The tablet PC drivers are beautiful. The touch is fluid. The pen is fluid. The pressure's. I really like it. Plus, it gives me a consistent experience between this device and my portable Surface Pro. So I stick with the tablet PC, or also known as Windows Ink sometimes. Uh, so yeah, so that's that. So let's start dragging out some drawers here. So I don't use a lot of these, so we're just gonna get rid of them. I'm gonna clean that up, just because it annoys me. So I'm gonna get rid of some of these drawers here. You can always bring these back. Actually, Navigator will keep, but you can always go to Window and bring any of these menus back if you want. Um, Actions I don't use. Now, materials I do use, but not like most people use. I only use it for the download materials, and that's for this Clip Studio store, for lack of a better word, where you can go grab free brushes and download them. This is where they download to, and you can simply drag them from the materials palette into any one of these wells over here and add new pens and brushes and whatnot. You can right click. I guess I have to do it on an existing one. You can export your current tools, import new tools. They're all in there. So I'm going to put the Navigator up here. Oops. Okay. Give me something to look at. So if we zoom in, of course we're seeing, this is a standard Navigator. There's not anything fancy to it. I'm going to move my colors, however, over here. No, really. There we go. I'm going to make these the 16 steps, and the reason for that is I like the layout of the colors, and now they don't really change depending on how wide this is. I prefer this underneath. Whoops, that's not at all what I wanted. I prefer it to be a triangle. Personal preferences. Again, set this up the way you want it. I'm going to add one more window called the subview and put it there. Actually, I want to swap these. I want the subview over here and the Navigator over here for no apparent reason. It's personal preference. I also like this bar, the command bar below. I like it at the bottom, like in Photoshop. Add a new layer, add an object, vector layer. Again, just like Photoshop. We'll get into application features later. I'm just really working on layout right now. So right now you'll notice neither one of these collapse anymore. So I can simply drag one on top of the other, and now I've got drawers that I can collapse. On a small screen, if you have a small device, this really helps, being able to collapse these menus. The brushes, however, I like to leave out all the time because I use them that much. Constantly switching brush sizes. But now my tools don't collapse anymore, so we're going to throw information up here. Whoops, there we go. And now the drawer collapses again. Sweet. Timeline at the bottom, if you're not doing animation, you don't need that either. I don't use it. Now the scroll bar, if you're using a mouse, this is a big deal. If you're using touch like I am, it just gets in the way. You rest your palm down here, and the next thing you know, your image is darting out of the way. So let's get rid of that. Go to View, scroll bar, uncheck it. And then now we don't have a scroll bar anymore, which is, for me, beautiful. Command bar at the top here, we got a few things. This little icon on the end is really nice. It hides these menu bars one at a time. I usually leave the file menu, but not the application menu. Let's see, what else do I usually do? Oh, the command bar itself. Modify, let's do command bar settings. So there's a lot of things in here I don't need. There are things that I do need that aren't up here. So when I make selections, the selection tools don't make any sense when I'm not selecting anything, and when I do select anything, they're automatically there for me. So I'm going to get rid of these. I don't think they need to be up here. They waste space that I could be putting other cool things up here that I do need. This thing I move out of my way if for no other reason than I don't want to accidentally clear my screen while trying to do undo. I don't need to ever disable touch. Let's get rid of that. This, I don't know what this does. Get rid of that. Let's see. You know, I want that over here, actually. No, I don't. See? Very customizable. File, import image. I do this quite a bit. So let's put that up there. I also like my view settings up here. So let's go to view, and view at 100% is one I like because it allows me to snap to 100% pixels. I like fit to screen for the opposite reason, see my whole image. Let's see, what else do I do? Print size. If you're printing a comic book, you might need to see if your font is too big or too small. On screen you can zoom, but in print you need to make sure you get that text right, so you want to make sure your print settings are correct. And reset rotation is the fourth one I like. And the reason for all of those, of course, if I'm zoomed out I can go straight to 100%. That's pixel for my display. I can zoom out, I can reset the rotation no matter how bad it gets. And then, of course, print size, depending on what your print settings are. First time you use print, it will ask you to put a ruler on your screen and actually tell it how big your resolution is. So that's very handy. But again, you have to set it up first. And that's about it for me. This is pretty much, I'll have multiple tools in here. We'll actually do a tool video separately because I want to import some brushes and I don't have any brushes on this machine. But that ought to do it. So, yeah. If you see my interface in any of my videos, this is mostly the way I'm going to have it set up. So there we go.